Hello, everyone. Welcome to July's monthly edition of our, COVID YouTube webcast here. It's been we moved it to monthly just because changes have been slower to come by, and fortunately, dental offices have been opening throughout the country and have been slowly adapting to the new reality. And we've been pretty much swamped with work, working many, many hours, helping hundreds of offices kind of get up to speed as to what's needed and how to get ahead with, throughout the situation the world is going through. So again, thank you everyone for joining in. The format's going to be very similar, but a little different. Joining us here are our wonderful account managers. We have Noel on the top left corner. Coming to you on the top right corner is James Scott. We have Jake Camet on the bottom left corner. And last again, but substantially not least, Mike Jenson on the bottom right corner. We're gonna just share some of the updates that we've seen in the industry, a lot of the conversations that have been going on with our clients and clinics who are not yet our clients. And we're probably gonna just have a conversation and hear from the team to see what's going on in various parts of our wonderful country. So I'm going to pass the torch to you guys. Feel free to jump in, and I'll probably jump in throughout as well.
Awesome. Perfect. I'll pick up this torch here. So as for my region, I've been representing Eastern Canada, Maritimes, Quebec, GTA of Ontario. So with the clients that I've been speaking with, something that I see come up in almost every conversation I have are three main points that seem to be taking a lot of the office's focus. So that first point would be scheduling a ton of patients. Every time I'm speaking with the receptionist, they're always telling me about how they're always on the phone, trying to schedule patients, trying to work in emergencies. A lot of focus is going into that direction. Another focus would be the additional information that has to be communicated to the patient. So I think something that we're all familiar with is the COVID screening forms at this point. So trying to get that over to the patient, making sure that you get the pre-screening and the actual screening right before the appointment accomplished, and being able to keep track of all that. And then the last thing that I've noticed that offices are focusing on is trying to lower their overhead. So with everything coming out after the pandemic, such as PPE, for example, I know that that's another topic that we're all very familiar with, on prices going a little higher on that. So that's just one of the items, but offices are looking everywhere to kind of see what costs that they can reduce to try and kind of make that bounce back from that pandemic. So a lot of these focuses, we actually do have some tools, and we're able to communicate with patients about kind of like tools that they could think about that can actually help their office kind of in a bit of a different sense than just right up front that most offices are used to. So I'll first start with some internal tools. So such as reaching out to those patients. One direction that a lot of offices have decided to pay attention to is Maxi Reminder. That's an item that is for patient reminders. They can reach out and confirm appointments, as well as sending out templates for those pre-screenings with the COVID forms. So a lot of offices that have implemented something like that, they seem to be finding a lot of success in having some more front-end time where the staff can actually engage with patients just a little bit more and make them feel a little more comfortable in the clinic. It's shown, at least through my conversations, it looks as if a lot of patients are ending up a lot happier with that. And then with the two-way communication of texting, they're able to actually communicate with the patient before they're even in the office. So that seems to be something that's been freeing up a lot of time right on the surface for the front staff. Secondly, a different item on that note would be Maxi Chart, bringing in digital charts that takes on a bit of a different scope though. in those kinds of conversations I've been having with patients, a lot of them seem to be trying to reduce touch points. That's something that's totally understandable in the office. And as we're continuing to move forward, we see a lot more in our conversations that these offices are trying to remove as many touch points as possible, making it a very smooth transition for the patient in and out of the office, and less points that you need to sanitize after that appointment. So with that, a lot of offices are just focused on trying to get the whole digital aspect pushed over for them. Now, a bit on the back end of their setup, things such as their internet, how they're using that, communicating over the phone, and as well as some of their point of sale communication, that's been something that's actually been spoken about as well. Something really that's been highlighted is that that communication over the phone. So one thing that people don't often think about is how you can kind of take two directions with phones. Either you can take it analog, which is your DSL line, or you can go Ethernet and run it through your internet. So if you take that internet option, you get a lot of cool different features. One of them being that you actually don't have to pay for each feature that's being added to that phone line. So that's actually been helping a lot of offices with that overhead. And then another item that's been tagged onto that is having a bit of a like a smart caller ID that you can actually incorporate now into the computer when you have internet phones. So with that, it's also been taking a lot of time or giving a lot of time back to the receptionists, giving them more opportunity to speak within the dentist and focus on trying to continue to schedule those patients. So that's been a lot of what my conversation's been encompassed about. And it seems that a lot of offices are just trying to get as much efficiency in as possible. So that way they can focus a lot more on getting those patients scheduled and getting those appointments moving forward. And it seems as months start to go by, offices are becoming a little bit more relaxed on how the speed's going and how that flow has been changed up a little bit. So that's been kind of how my region's been going on. If anybody else would like to pitch in, it's all up to you.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, no, I'll jump in here too. It's been a different month over this last month. As everything's kind of now starting to come together, most of the offices in BC are open. That was kind of the latest end of offices to reopen just because of guideline restrictions, and also because there was in my conversations, almost like an influx of people who weren't comfortable opening up when the first date was released. They almost wanted to wait it out a little bit and see how things kind of went. And it seems, because here in Canada, that we are in a much more fortunate situation than other places in the world. We've been able to do so with relatively very few hiccups and spikes and things like that. So it's a great thing to see that our country's pulled together. And we're making it easier for people to do the simple things in life that they need to do, like going to a doctor or going to a dentist if they need to. I've been talking to one client that we just brought on recently. And I'm very happy to kind of announce, like, even for him, because within dentistry, even though you have, different disciplines, there's different areas that everyone works in, right? And this one gentleman, he works in care homes. And when we first started talking about bringing him over, like a huge factor was when he was going to be ready or be able to go back to work like everyone else. And as you can imagine, working in care homes and the tighter health precautions that are in place for the most vulnerable, it hasn't been easy. But I'm very happy to announce for him, he's back. He's got over 30 plus care homes, and he's already back to 9 of them. With the next few weeks starting to open up a little bit more, and hopefully over the next month or two he can get back to a regular pace. So I'm very happy to announce things like that, because even for some of our dental and dental professionals that are out there that have kind of been stagnated by that same sort of thing, it's nice to know that you're getting back to work as well. And I applaud you for taking those steps as well. This as of lately, it's been reopening the second round of reopening conversations with offices, trying to touch base. Like, I know a lot of people all across our region, which is Saskatchewan, Alberta, BC, Yukon, Nunavut. That territory itself, I'm trying to do an east to west type movement once again. So it's good to start talking to people that I missed the first time around because things were too busy. But If we haven't touched base here within the last month, we'll be touching base right away and very soon. And of course, for any officers that are out there that are listening, feel free to contact me at any point in time if you need me with anything urgent, especially. To kind of mirror and mimic what Mike was saying, conversations on MaxiChart, Maxi Reminder, those have been big for us in our region as well. More so Maxi Reminder, because the patient communication is virtually everything nowadays. Being able to get out any type of patient screening forms and to do that by email in a secure channel, and being able to reach people by text and have them fluidly text you a conversation back and forth to the office, where it just comes up on an instant messenger, has made things beautiful for a lot of admin staff. So there's been more conversations about that. But on MaxiChart, because charting is a bigger step to take, that part, I'm very proud to say that we've had a lot of good initial conversations with having transparent conversations based on what it's really like through all of our experiences working with offices. And some of the stresses that they may have to go through in those first couple of weeks when they're making a transition like that, but eventually getting them to the point where not only are they more efficient and everything's digitally certified and stored away for you, but to be able to get rid of those paper touch points like Mike was mentioning as well. That's a big key factor in all these conversations. So it's been very good on those two fronts, especially. Of course, we're still offering the fillable forms that we can create fillable forms for our offices. So I've had a lot of conversations in the last month where we have a lot of projects on the go. And again, if you're interested, please let me know right away, and we can definitely help out. And then on the topic of PPE, like Mike was saying, I've said in the past that in certain parts of the region where I've spoken to, they've referred it to the Wild Wild West. And it seems that, from what I'm understanding, like I spoke to two offices specifically, and they said that they're finding a better flow of being able to order and get those orders on time and fulfilling them in 2-week blocks than it is to try and order a month ahead. They're finding it a lot harder to get their orders fulfilled, which can cause delays, right? And a lot more communication coming in and out of the office. But when they're ordering 2 weeks at a time and ordering a week out, they really find that constant flow is still there. And one dentist actually said that they actually felt a little bit more happier that they weren't trying to jam log the system, right? So other dentists and other professionals could get their hands on whatever supply chain that they have through work and through whatever companies that they're working with. So that it was kind of encouraging to hear something outside of the issue at hand. But I implore all dental professionals to talk to your regulating bodies about things like this and push for more. Again, at the end of the day, if there's questions that are unanswered and things that you need to always be able to have your voice heard. And it's very good to make sure that they're constantly, your regulatory bodies are constantly on top of making sure that you can do this in the most safe manner, not just for you, but for all your patients and your families at the end of the day. And lastly, some new office calls, which has been fantastic to have calls coming from other offices that are reaching out. And it's kind of in a few ways made me sit back and think, like, how is this happening? Like, what are the key factors that are kind of pushing this drive? Why are not just us, but I'm assuming the dental software community is getting this, but I've really deduced it down to two things. I think a lot of offices are trying to sell for the ones that are changing over, and or they're being bought to be conglomerated together, and or the more often than not comment that I get is that they're just frustrated with their current software and the level of support that they're getting. Coming to a tried, tested, and true Canadian company is a great first step with Maxident, obviously. But knowing, what our mission values are on our exceptional service, that we have success teams out there to help service you, and it's the same faces that you'll get to know day in, day out. And the level of experience that we have in the community as well, not to mention that all Canadian dentists also get a free license as well to Maxident. Those have been key factors in driving some of these calls. And again, those calls are always ongoing. You know, I always have 3 or 4 that I'm constantly talking to, and it's not about selling software. It's about giving you freedom. And that alone, with the services that we offer, that's our shining point. And I want to make that clear to the offices that we're all talking to in all of our regions, that it's all about servicing you and getting you to where you need to be for your long-term vision. Yeah, so that's really about it that's been going on. I'm happy sports are coming back. You know, there's baseball, NBA, soccer's on, football possibly. Biggest thing is obviously hockey. Like, we're a week out. We got the Jets in the playoffs. I couldn't be happier, and congratulations to Seattle for bringing a team into the league as well. But no, that's good, because now we can have a little bit more of those entertainment values that we used to kind of take for granted until it was taken away from us. So I'm happy to see that coming back, putting a smile on all of our faces as well. That's all for me.
Awesome. Noel, you want me to go? Or I'll go, since you're on mute. All right. Well, yeah. So same thing, very similar to what Mike and James has been talking about. Like the conversations that we've been having is, they're busy, just like what Alex said. We've been extremely busy with offices that are reopening, getting ready. A lot of them are a lot of the staff that actually are coming on board, or whether they're an existing staff or new staff that has to relearn things from us. And the good thing is that we're always available, just like what James had said, that when it comes to providing exceptional customer service, you get the same people, so we know what's actually going on with the office. That Betty there, that whose dog died 3 years ago. I exactly know what's going on with your office. So things like that, and which makes it easier for offices to to provide assistance to, because because we know them and we have that relationship with them. So like new offices, just like what James said, and also like for me, what I've been busy with is offices where we've been implementing paperless charts, because now that a lot of offices are focused on minimizing the touch points. So we're slowly seeing the actual value of having these digital charts, and where people had had reservations in going there, but then this actually made a push for these offices to actually jump into going digital, and that's where we should all be going to, because it's more efficient, it's quick, and the experience that you'll get is way different with having those paper charts, right? And then we're also talking about the digitizing the films, right? So those are the conversations that we're having too, is people now seeing the value of having digital X-rays. So now and all these things are not free. Yeah, yes, our software is free, but these things, it's not. It's an investment. But the value that it will give you, later on down the road. I guess this is this is the world that we're living in has pushed us to that, which is in a good way, and on a positive note, right? So basically that's it. The challenges that I'm hearing all the time. They don't actually see it as a challenge. It's we often have these conversations. Well, what's like asking how the reopening is, what's their challenges. You don't hear the PPEs anymore. I don't, at least for the conversations that I'm having. Like PPE is not an issue. The problem now is like staffing, and also booking the thousands of patients that was canceled in the 2 3 months that was off. So now you would see offices that are fully booked until 3 months, 4 months in advance, and they're busy and they're liking it. And I hope you guys are too. And if you have any any challenges that you have in mind, that you're not alone. We're here for you. We were here to to discuss that and share what we know, and yeah, we'll help you get through that. So that's it for me. So I'll give it to Noel now.
All right, thank you, Jay. Well, hello to everyone, and I would like to share the recent conversations with the existing leads, existing clients, and all the kind of stuff. There is struggles and everything. Well, most of the some of the clients or the leads I spoke with, it's they are having a not so good use because they are putting their plans of setting up their independent practice on hold because of what's going on. They're waiting it out and for a couple of months, and while doing that, they are back into their dental clinics working as a hygienist. And also with the existing clients, most of them are serving a care homes. Like James said, not all the care home facilities are open yet. So this client of ours is holding not opening until they have a go signal from these facilities. And the other thing is that I spoke with is, well, this is like a good news, I could say. Although she is exhausted, she also mentioned that she doesn't have time to eat lunch. And that how busy she is, and that's because there's intervals looking for patients, seeing patients, plus the disinfectants and all that kind of stuff. And she also shared that some, because of the offices are not open in her province, some of the clinic, and patients are calling to book their appointment, but she cannot provide service because the schedule is really crazy. And yeah, so that's pretty much the conversation from the hygienist and clinic for me. And I'll pass over to Alex.
Thanks, guys. Thank you very much for the updates. On my side, just because of my role as CEO, I happen to have slightly different conversations with offices, but two of the major things that I've been dealing in the last month or so have been speaking with owners who are struggling with their staff. Either their staff don't want to come back, or they basically just quit on them after many years of work, and they're completely stressing out with regards to, because it throws in a loop all of their plans for reopening, and they are trying to find proper staff to get the patient care that they want to provide. So in those situations, I always say that any threat that comes your way is also an opportunity, and just because staff were with you for 20 years does not necessarily automatically mean that they have been implementing the best practices for what you need. And it might be a blessing in disguise for you to have the opportunity to find new staff and to train them in a way that you want the practice to run, and also train them through the vendors with the best practices. So I always recommend, and anyone who ever spoke with me and they were looking for a qualified receptionist, I send them to Starbucks, not only for the coffee, but also to headhunt the people who smile at you the best and who give you that great experience, because that experience is going to translate to your patients. And it's easier to teach them software and the dental procedures than to try and train them on how to just be courteous to patients and make them feel welcome and at home. So I'm still a big advocate of that. And you can replace Starbucks with whatever place that you have around you that provides where people provide good customer experience. You want to take that and see if they are willing to look at a career change. Those are the people who are going to create that great environment within your clinic. So that's a good thing to do. And I continue to say that it is an opportunity because you know whatever needs to happen happens, and then you just make the most of it. And it is an opportunity that you should take advantage of and not let it pull you down. So that's a very important point. On top of the fact that I'm proud to say that we do offer unlimited online training to our clients, and it's been a huge help throughout the pandemic and even now. Um, whether it's coming back and reopening and kind of coming in like your first day of school and you're not remembering how to do anything, or just hiring that new staff, whether they know different software or they know how to make a wicked latte, but you need to get them to submit claims to insurance. Part of our success teams, the implementation specialists, are awesome in being able to have people and train them in the best practices to hit the ground running. So again, available for everyone. Take advantage of it. The other type of situations that I've been dealing with is something that we've mentioned, throughout all of our webcasts, is the data integrity and security. And just because people forgot how to do things, they also forgot about internet security and not clicking on all the emails you get. And the result of that is some unfortunate security situations with data. So I've been dealing with clients in those aspects. Again, if it's not detrimental and if you have the proper insurance, then this is another opportunity to coach your staff, create training policies, and also review all of the tools you're using and all of the policies with regards to data, because that is, the more digital we go, and we're going there whether you want it or not, the more security risks you have, and you have to protect yourself. So those are kind of, outside of the regular internal business. Those are the conversations with clients that I am having, and I'm always trying to spin it in a positive way, or where they can, forget the, dire situation right now, but look at how can it contribute to the benefit of their clinic moving forward. So that's how you always need to look at it, and take action towards that. So, like all the guys said, we're always here to provide advice. Even if you just want to vent, we're still here. So that's basically our job, and we would be happy to hear from you at any point in time. But yeah, this is our quick monthly update. We're just about to hit the 30-minute mark, which is good. I guess from all of us, we want to wish you to stay safe, to keep socializing to a distance, and just be happy the fact that we're still here and the weather is not that bad, at least in Winnipeg today. And yeah, we look forward to speaking with you. Oh, by the way, one thing that I did forget, that I want to mention, is we have in the last couple of weeks launched officially the Secure Send integration, and it's been already implemented in dozens of offices, and we've seen great demand and great feedback on the ability to quickly share identifiable health information with their colleagues and the specialists. So that's been really, really well received, and we would like to, um, enhance it to everyone. It's included in our free license, and we welcome anyone to take advantage of the variety of our offers. Earlier, James wanted me to talk more about innovation, but I decided that because there's still some level of confidentiality until we're really, really ready to announce some of these things, I wouldn't necessarily announce anything. But more or less, if I want to talk about some generic terms, then we're looking at an integration to a complete digital workflow for how we work with the labs, and also more automatic and online services for your patients. So hit us up or stay tuned with the industry updates, and we hope you join our family of clients. Until next month, unless anyone wants to add anything, we will see you in August. Okay, have a good weekend ahead, and we'll chat soon. Bye bye.